mystical light beings, and welcome to Lena Mystic, where we embrace our spiritual awakenings by identifying our personal power and authentic selves. Today's video is about the snake spiritual meaning, why you keep seeing snakes, why you connect to snakes so well intuitively. I mean, what is this snake thing? So I wanted to, basically write about this article on LenaMysticOracle.com, which is in the description box. Yeah, the description bio box below this video, and also touch about it in a video because I just recently came across a snake. My cat may or may not move the camera, so that's nice. But speaking of my cat, I was meditating. You guys will understand why I'm talking about my cat, a literal cat. Okay. I was meditating in this one spot on my patio. Great meditation, everything. And I was like, Spirit, send me messages, help me be in tune and everything. And I get up out of that meditation space to go get some positive energy tea. And I look back, and me and my cat are both staring out the window looking at this black racer snake that's in the exact place that I was meditating. This was very fascinating because I had just asked Spirit for messages. I was really into that meditation. I hadn't meditated for maybe like a week before that, so I just felt like it was a message, especially after my husband, I messaged him. I was like,
we need to move.
We just secured this place 2 months ago, and I'm like, we need to move. We gotta go. He's like,
babe, we don't have to move. Just look up the spiritual meaning.
Now, I looked up the spiritual meaning, but I didn't look at a full article. I just looked up like the first thing that I saw, and it resonated with me, and I felt it was necessary for me to intuitively write an article on the snake spiritual meaning. It took me 2 weeks. However, divine timing. And I think that this article is absolutely amazing. It's very in-depth. It goes into the curious facts and the spiritual side of snakes and what it means. And I really do think that you all should read it if you feel that you connect spiritually to snakes in some way. Now, this does not mean that technically you're a snake, like you're playing people or anything. The snake spiritual meaning and the spirit animal is a very powerful one, and it has great meaning. So you should definitely look into it, watch this video, research on someone else's website, research on mine, who cares? Just look up the spiritual meaning of snakes. If you want to look at my article, you could look at LenaMysticOracle.com. Now let's get into the let's get into the curious facts first, okay? So most people don't know this, and I thought that this was the most fascinating fact about snakes, is that some of them, 30% of them, actually go through a live birth, such as the boa snake and the rattlesnake. Many people don't know that. Many people just think that all snakes come from eggs. No, that's only 70% of them that are, hatched from eggs. If you were to research snakes, you would find out that they are found pretty much everywhere except Antarctica, Ireland, Iceland, Greenland, and New Zealand. And I thought that that was pretty fascinating because how do you even know that they're not found everywhere? Like, how do you know that? That's a little weird. Are you sure they're not under the ice in Antarctica? It's a great question, right? Don't you think? So the ones that go through a live birth process, and I forgot to get into this, will be born basically in this thin membrane that covers them. Just think about the placenta and how it is for humans, and how some humans are born in a placenta. Their parents, their water never broke. So with the snake, it's born through this thin membrane, the ones that go through a live birth process. And they use this tooth that's called the egg tooth, and it only serves one purpose, and that is to break open that thin membrane. And I thought that that was absolutely amazing because they have a tooth that is just for one purpose, and then I think it falls out or something happens to it. I'm not exactly sure, but it only serves that one purpose. Now, most of these snakes will be born into a world where they have to experience full independence from the time of birth or from the time of hatching. And that is crazy to me. I mean, there are some, such as the African rock python, that will watch over their young and provide protection, but otherwise, most of these snakes are being born and hatching and having to provide proper protection for themselves. That's the same for a lot of turtles as well, if you wanted to know that. But yeah, I sound like such a nerd right now. So after snakes are born, and this is so cool, they will actually taste their environment. That is why they stick out their tongue. They're tasting the environment. Now, what the heck does that even mean? It means that they are figuring out what the humidity is. They're figuring out what that place is, what it consists of. They're tasting almost where the prey is and where their predators are. And I thought that was so freaking mind-blowing because they can taste their environment. I mean, it's even said that babies, when they breastfeed, from the mother's milk, they can taste what the environment is like. And when I read into that, I was like, this is cool. And then when I found out about snakes, I was like, wow, so this is a real thing that we as divine creations can do. And it's absolutely amazing. So there are about 2,900 species of snakes, and out of those 2,900, there's 600 species of snakes that are actually venomous. And a surprising fact is that the same snakes born from a venomous mother will be venomous straight from the time of birth. And I thought that venom would kind of progress over time, but no, they are born with that same venomous level as their mother, okay, or their father, or whatever that species is. They're born with that same venom in them already. It's already embedded. It doesn't have to be progressed. Now, out of that 100%, 7% of those venomous species can kill or severely harm humans. I thought that was kind of scary, but at the same time, I was like, I barely ever even see snakes. So if you think about all the numbers and everything, I'll probably never come in contact with a venomous snake. Okay, there's not a very good percentage of that happening because I've only seen like 3 wild snakes in my life. So yeah, that's probably not going to happen. So no need to fear. You're most likely not going to see a venomous snake. However, if you see a snake, do not pick it up. Like, if it's wild, why are you touching it? Why are you touching it? Why haven't you ran away yet? Are you still here? Like, run away from the snake. What are you doing? Why are you there? Now, a lot of people may wonder, how in the heck does a snake with no arms, no legs — some of them do have legs, as far as I've heard, by the way. I really do need to look into that because I'm not sure if that's true, but I've heard some snakes do have legs. That creeps me out. So I honestly don't want to know. I don't want to know. If someone's lying, okay, cool. If they're not lying, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I want to keep that mystery alive, I don't want to know that a snake has a leg or two, okay? It's already scary enough that it just slithers around carrying its own business, okay? I don't like it. This is beyond the most resourceful thing I've ever heard of. A snake literally doesn't need anything but the opportunity in itself to do what it needs to do, to get the job done, okay? It literally strangles its victim, then eats it whole. It doesn't need to pick through the pieces. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. I'm gonna throw up. But it doesn't need to pick through what it's eating. It doesn't need to do anything but swallow it whole after strangling it. And that is beyond one of the most gruesome, disturbing, however, and yet resourceful things I've ever heard of. Absolutely amazing. Now, juvenile snakes, so the process is basically egg, baby snake, or snakelet, or hatchling, or whatever, or neonate. Then you've got juvenile and adult. Those are the 4 stages. Now, the juvenile snakes will molt their skin about or up to 4 times a year, maybe even more. And once they become an adult, it's probably about half that time or 2 times per year that they shed or molt their skin. So this molting process is done by them rubbing up against like a hard surface that can get the skin off for it. This skin has parasites a lot of the time, and probably most of the time, in it. So it's really good that they do shed that because it has parasites. And it's really funny because if you think a little bit about the spiritual side of that really speaks to us having to shed who we used to be because it's parasitic and toxic behavior. So that's just a little peek into the spiritual meaning. Of course, them shedding their skin allows them to grow out of that skin, which is still another spiritual way of looking at why the snakes are showing up in your life. But shedding that skin allows them to grow larger and longer, you know, so that skin is no longer necessary anymore, and it's also holding them back, making them root bound, which we always talk about. As they become adults, they grow a little bit slower, which is just like humans, you know. As babies, they grow very, very fast. Like after 3 months, they're like 2 times their size. That's basically the same as snakes. They continuously grow as these baby snakes and these juvenile snakelets, neonates, hatchlings, whatever you might want to call them. And then they start to slowly grow as they become adults, which is why they don't shed as much anymore. Now, a very weird fact to me, weird just means different, by the way, is that snakes do not have eyelids. I don't know why I ever thought that they did. You know, like now I'm thinking about it. I don't know why. Where would the eyelids be? Yeah, I don't know. But they don't have eyelids. So they actually sleep with their eyes open. Terrifying. I swear, it's terrifying. I'm trying to move my cat away because I feel like he's just being irritating. Another thing with their eyes is there's an opening in front of their eyes that actually tells them where predators are, prey is. It's called a pit hole, and it gives off the heat by warm-blooded animals. And that really blew my mind. Like, they have something in the front of their eyes called a pit hole that can sense heat given off by warm-blooded animals. What? Snakes are literally not from this world. An even more fascinating thing about this is that their bones actually the bones in their jaws pick up vibrations as well. So they can kind of tell when someone is approaching, not only by their sense tasting the air, and behind or on their eyes or whatever, they got these pit holes. And then they can also pick up in their jaws a vibration. I mean, where are these snakes from and who dropped them here? Because I don't know if any of us other animals are really just as mind-blowing as a snake. And there's so many animals for me to look into, so many spirit animals, but this is amazing. They are so resourceful. That is why they don't need arms and legs. That's why, because they have everything that they need embedded in them, just like we do. They can actually open up their mouths to about 150 degrees, which allows them to eat their prey that can be 75% to even 100% bigger than their size. That is the thing that they can do. 75% to 100% bigger than them. What? That's crazy, right? That's crazy. Absolutely amazing, once again. Now, this is going to kind of freak some of you out because I know it freaked me out, especially after seeing the snake in my backyard jump up a freaking bush. I was like, they got flying snakes out here in Florida? Time to go. So I actually looked it up, and there are about 5 species of snakes that fly. I almost just about died reading that. Like, dramatics aside, I just about died, okay? Immediately after seeing that, like, my heart was racing so fast. I was like, I swear to goodness, I'm going to have to fight God if there are real flying snakes in my presence. I think that snakes are very just rare. Like, all of the amazing things that they can do, all of the amazing things that they are rare. Everything about them just screams rare, different, out of this world. And that just speaks to your spirit if you've been seeing spirit animals. So speaking of what the spiritual meaning is, or why your spirit is calling the snake to show up in your life, let's get into the actual spiritual meaning of snakes. So I want to talk about the first spiritual meaning for me, and I think it is someone who knows, everything, knows nothing at all, and that things are not always set in stone. It's not always set in stone. So what that means is the moment that you think that you know it all, you cannot hear anything new. You can't learn anything else. So stop, if you are in an experience where you feel like you know everything or you have to know everything, push that aside, because you always want to be learning. You always want to be open to listening and receiving new messages. And this even goes with people who you don't like. Let's say there's someone who was mean to you in your childhood, but like you still love them. Maybe it's your cousin. You still love them, and they still, you know, provide love to you in your life, and they're not the same person that they used to be. Now, when they speak to you and they say something to you, don't automatically turn off your ears. Always be open to listening, because you may have gotten a message directly from God through this person, you know? So listen to that person, because you don't want to miss an opportunity because you weren't open to listening. And that's one of the easiest things that you can do. Just listen to people, okay? Each person in each experience is here in your life for a reason. So if you are in the presence of someone, listen to them. You may learn something about them. You may learn something about you. You may learn something about the divine creation of the universe. Who knows? But you're gonna learn something in every conversation. I think that each of us are so wise, so wise, but the more that we listen and the more that we're willing to learn, we really grow into that wisdom. The moment that you believe that you know it all is honestly the moment that you've accepted that you don't know anything at all, because you were always meant to be learning. We are here to always learn, so always be open to learning. When I said earlier that nothing is yet in stone, I want to, not yet set in stone, I want to kind of dive into that. So a lot of us think because we didn't get the call back from the interview a week later after it, that, you know, it's set in stone. Oh, we didn't get the job. But then we kind of go on a rant with everyone. We're grumpy and mean. And then 2 weeks later, you know, 3 weeks after the interview, we get a call and they're like, hey, you're hired. We just had to get the paperwork together. So you've been cranky all this time, treating people like crap, and you actually got the interview. Like, nothing is yet set in stone, okay? Guys, everything happens for a reason. Everything really does have its own divine timing. Maybe you weren't even supposed to get that job. Who knows? Maybe you're supposed to get another. Who freaking knows? But you know what is set in stone? That there's always another opportunity for you. So never be closed to anything, and always know that divine timing plays a huge role in our lives. You should definitely stop assuming the worst and start seeing that there could be a bigger opportunity, actually, not that there could be, but that there is a bigger opportunity, a greater opportunity, a greater way to see things. My next thing I want to say is that you do not have to prove yourself to everyone. If you have to continuously prove yourself to the same person that you've never done wrong, never done anything wrong to, then that's probably not the person for you, or maybe that's not the area for you. You know, start looking somewhere else, because that is a waste of time. To have to continuously prove yourself to everyone, even people you've never done wrong. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. Stop trying to prove yourself to everyone, and just realize that people will love you for who you are if you just allow them to. And for people who don't, that's not your tribe. So move away from there. Okay? Move away. Go somewhere else. You don't belong there. Not every snake is going to belong in every community, okay? You, as seeing the snake animal, the snake spirit animal, you are meant to be different, and you're meant to be what I call among the peculiar. You're not meant to stand in. You are a divine creation. Just like the snake has no arms and legs but still doesn't need anything, like, I'm good. Like, I'm good without all of that. You are that person. You are resourceful. You are wise. You are connected spiritually, and you are just different from other people, and that is okay. I mean, there's no need for you to try your best to fit into an environment you were never meant to be in the first place. So stop trying to prove yourself to everyone. Don't feel like you ever have to prove yourself to anyone. If people think you listening to psychic readings is weird, or you giving psychic readings is weird, if it's a part of you, if you feel like that has something to do with your personality, you don't have to explain it to anyone. If you want to, you can. But can you imagine everyone that doesn't like you, you trying to reveal why they should like you? How they can be a problem, how they can be consuming and draining. You don't have to do that. Just love who you are, and you will never feel like you have to prove yourself to anyone. Honestly, you will discover your tribe of peculiars, and you will feel radiant. You will feel vibrant. They will love and respect you for who you are. They will admire you for who you are. They will ask you how you're doing. They will love you, and they will resonate with you. And you don't want to give your time to these people who were never a part of you. You don't want to give them all of that time, because now you're wasting time. Now you're not getting to resonate with people that you were meant to resonate with. Now you're not in the tribe that you're meant to be in, because you're so hard trying to fit into this tribe you were never meant to be in. There's not a seat for you there. There's a seat for you here. And it's time for you to leave these seats that they don't have your name on it. They have somebody else's name. It has somebody else's name, and you're trying to fit into that name. You don't have to do that. There's a tribe that loves and admires you already, welcoming you in with loving arms. Honestly, just as a snake, a lot of people will already have a perception of you, and it's not your job to shift that perception. It's not your job to change people's perspective on you or a perception of you. It's your job to be the best person that you can be. And maybe while you're loving yourself and growing, those people will finally start to see you for who you are and start loving you for that. But it's not your job to show them. It's not your job to prove it to them. It's your job to love yourself. Love yourself and love the people around you. That's your job. You should embrace how different you are. And it takes a while. It took me a long time to embrace that I was psychic. I did not ever call myself psychic, even though I would have dreams all the time and stuff. But it's one of my biggest, most lovely gifts. Being able to see the future and help people prepare for their future, or shift their future because it may not look the brightest. Or telling people of their personal power because I can see it. It is an amazing gift. I have helped so many people. At this point, it's been millions of people. There have been millions of people who have used this YouTube. I have done thousands of readings for people, and just one-on-one readings. This is an amazing blessing, and I cannot imagine if I didn't step into it because I didn't feel like I resonated with the rest of the world. Well, I don't have to. It's not my job to resonate with the rest of the world, because all of the world will never resonate with me. They'll never resonate with me. But the moment that I start loving myself, my world resonates with me. And that's what's important. Honestly, you just have to accept that not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone is going to love you. And that is the way life is, But the best thing is to love yourself. Because when you keep trying to prove yourself to other people, you're kind of losing yourself. You don't have stability. You don't have confidence. So just step into your confidence and love yourself. That's what the snake is asking you to do. Because the snake ain't got time to prove nothing to nobody. The snake is trying to eat. Just like we trying to eat. The snake is trying to eat. So just go ahead and eat, baby. Go ahead and eat. Another thing about the snake is that they are extremely independent, and I think that speaks a lot to us as well. You kind of start to rely on people. Now, that could be for some of you guys who live with your parents, or some of you guys who have a sister who constantly takes care of you and provides love for you. Whatever the situation is, make sure that you're not always falling on someone else to take care of responsibilities that you can also do yourself, or that you've never even tried to do yourself because you don't think that you can, or because it's scary. Because what happens is, there's going to be a time where we're completely relying on someone else, but then we can't rely on them in that moment. And then we're like, crap, what do we do? It's been 3 years. I've been having them change the oil in my car, and now I got to figure out how to do this. So don't always rely on someone else. Take the opportunity to learn different tasks, learn different things, and trust yourself that you can do it. The snake is very, very independent, and so are you. You have these talents that you haven't even tapped into because you don't think that you can do them, or because you've always had someone else do it. So try these talents. Try out new things each and every day. Read a passage from a book each and every day. Read a cool quote or something each and every day. Try new things. Learn new things. Explore your independence. Another thing I want to talk about is being open to receiving. Now, we were just talking about independence, but it's also sometimes the time to ask someone for help, or to let someone who offered help you. Now, you don't want to be completely dependent on anybody, because you can provide for yourself as well, just like the snake can. But you do want to allow yourself to get help and assistance where it is needed. If someone says, I can help you with this, and you trust that person, as in they've never betrayed you, is what I'm saying, because trust is hard for some of us. But if they've never betrayed you, if they've been reliable, or even if they mess up just one time, give them that chance to give you something. A lot of us givers don't receive. And we have an issue with receiving, and that has to do with information. Like, some of us have this embedded wisdom, we share it with everyone, but we don't want to take no embedded wisdom from anybody else. That's not fair. It is a perfect universe for the cycle of karma. You know, we go through these cycles in life, and the cycle includes you giving, but you also receiving. So as these empaths are giving their all, allow someone to give something to you as well. The next thing is standing up for yourself and realizing how important it is to speak up for yourself in times where people are bullying you. I mean, people are crazy. Like, people really think that they can just pick on you and threaten you and bully you. And I believe that if you're seeing the snake, that you should know that you are very powerful and you can also be a threat as well. You have to speak up for yourself, letting these predators know that just because you seem like prey, you will not be preyed upon. Okay, nobody can prey upon you because you are choosing to not allow people to overcome you and beat you up and demolish you. Okay, you're not allowing that. So let people know, I'm gonna stand up for myself, and you're not gonna, I don't care who you are. You could be somebody's mother, you could be my mother. I'm gonna speak up for myself. It doesn't matter who the person is. My mother, if she watches this video, she gonna be like, girl, what you mean? Oh Lord, I need to just rewind. And whoever it is, you need to let them know that you're going to stand up for yourself and protect yourself, because you cannot let people continue to bully you and harm you and hurt you. I think that you also have to respect yourself in a way, because if you don't respect yourself, then you're going to let people walk all over you, and you don't want that. Another thing about the snake is how resourceful they are. And a lot of us think that we can't create what we want with what we already have. We think, oh, I need a loan to make this business work. I need this to make that work. I need this frame, this perfect frame for this. No, you don't. Start with what you have and what you can afford, and then build up, baby, okay? Build up. And that is how the world works. You build up, okay? Some of these levels may be very short, and then we just jump all the way at the top. Who knows? But all you need to know is you can lay one brick at a time and continue to build that wall. Okay, so build with what you already have. Maybe you need to look in a book to figure out what you need. Maybe you need to spend more time with like-minded people. Whatever it is, do what you can with what you already have. Okay, I have to learn that lesson all the time, which is so funny that I wrote this article. I have to learn. I don't need that to make this work. I have everything that I need. I don't need my arms. I don't need legs. I'm talking about the snake. I don't need arms. I don't need legs. I'm going to strangle this problem, and then I'm going to swallow it whole, okay? I'm going to devour it. And that's how the snake handles his business, and that is how you can handle your business as well. I'm seeing the number 911. You guys should check out that video. Number 911, angel number 911, is a powerful, powerful number. So once again, if you're still watching this, know that something huge is changing in your life, and you are being tapped into. Your potential is being tapped into, and you're being put on divine timing and alignment. Now, when we talk about the shedding that the snake and the molting that the snake goes through, you want to talk about change and how you can go through change whenever it is necessary. As in, you can choose to change who you are at any moment. If you were a bully and you don't want to be a bully anymore, you can change that. Don't let people take away your credibility. Like, let's say you were a bully 10 years ago and people are like, you don't deserve great things because you used to bully me around, and you've already apologized to them and you've already tried to make it better for them. Don't let them take away your credibility of all the great things that you're still doing. Okay, don't let them take that away from you. And I know that sounds kind of messed up for some of us who were bullied, but if you think about it, we have all been a bully at some point. We've all done something mean to someone at some point, something unwarranted, something unnecessary to someone at some point. And we have to say, self, I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anyone else. So I release that. I release that toxic side of me, and I allow myself to be vibrant and high vibrational. All of us are toxic in some area in our lives. My toxicity lies in self-care. I do not take self-care. And you know what that turns into? It turns into crankiness. And me being quite of a, what's that B word again? In some moments, I know you guys might be like, how? Yes, I'm very honest. Yes, I can be, and mostly it comes out to my husband, and he just either laughs at me or is like, "Babe, you ain't gotta talk to me like that." And I'm like, "You right." It is definitely a lot better now. Like the way the crankiness comes out, I'm a lot nicer and I'm a lot chiller. But with self-care, I'm learning that has to be given to myself, because I've given out so much my entire life, and now that I'm about to be 25, it's like my guides are like, you gotta navigate through this, okay? And that's what's going on with some of the bullies. Maybe they were bullied and maybe they thought that that's how they should handle things. But whatever the case is, don't let anybody take away the changes that you've made, the good changes that you've made in your life. It is okay to change. It's okay to be a great person. It's okay to resonate on a different level. I just saw 35, 10, 16, 7. Oh, 7. That's a lucky number, okay? So angel number 7 was hidden in that 35. Wow. Another thing I want to talk about is how intuitive the snake is and how it can taste the surroundings, and it can sense the warm-blooded predators approaching, and it can feel the vibrations in its jaw. You are just intuitive and in tune as the snake is. You can feel vibrations in an environment. You can feel when it's time to leave an environment. You can feel when someone is feeling their best. You can feel when they are not, and you will continuously ask people and check up on them. You're an amazing empath. You're an amazing person. However, us empaths and us psychics and mediums and spiritual ability harnessers, we constantly help the world. But with this intuition, you have to listen to it for yourself too. And that is one of the hardest things to do, to listen to it for yourself, because you don't know if you are being conceited in some cases. You don't know if you're being conceited. You don't know if you are being, blindsided because it's you're trying to look into the future for yourself or whatever it is. But you have to use those gifts on yourself as well, and you have to tap into that true potential. I recommend meditating for a few minutes a day, trying to envision how you want the day to go. You may find out something. Maybe your guides are going to be like, hey girl, if you don't fold that clothes that's been on the couch for the last 3 weeks, you're going to be living a cluttered day. That's a real thing. Your intuition will be like, if you don't clean this up out of your path, you're going to feel like your path is rocky as well today, subconsciously and spiritually. So make sure you go ahead and clean up real quick. Make sure you eat your breakfast and everything so that you can have a clutter-free day and an organized day, okay? And that is how our intuition works. I think that we all have this embedded and vast knowledge within us, waiting for the potential to be tapped into and waiting for us to really just harness that energy. So that quick 3-minute meditation, I took like a 10-minute meditation today, will just help so much. Even 2 minutes, even a minute will help us steal that moment and really just listen within that vast knowledge. I don't recommend only doing 1 minute because you may interrupt the messages, and you definitely want to get your breathing together for that first minute and then just listen to the universe around you for the next 2 to however long minutes. And yeah, meditation is amazing. Mindfulness is amazing. Painting in the beginning of the day so that you can quickly gather your thoughts and just steal those moments for quiet. Okay, we all need quiet, and that anxiety that we're all having right now because of the pandemic or whatever else is going on in the world, it's very necessary to take that quiet time. The last thing I want to talk about with snakes is that there is no one like you. And as much as you may think you're like this other person, you're not. You're completely different. You've been through a lot of different past lives. You're going through a lot of different things in this life. Whatever it is, you are completely different. There's no one like you, so it's not necessary for you to try to fit into one little bubble. You are eternal. You are vast. You are peculiar. Okay? There is no reason why you need to try to fit into anything, because you are not just this physical life form. You are spiritual. You're eternal. There's no way for you to fit into this little box. So don't try to. And don't let anybody tell you that you have to. You are definitely also meant to tell the world that change is good, and change is what brings progress in the world, because a lot of people don't know that. So you are a light bringer. You're a light worker. And like I said, light cannot fit in a box. Light doesn't fit in a box. You're not meant to fit in a box. So let yourself shine. And the sun just got a lot brighter. Isn't that in alignment? It's crazy. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. I think that in a lot of cases you'll also be pretty relatable, but you may not be relatable to other people. Like when they see you, they're gonna be like, I can't relate to that. But on a personal level, you've been through so many things and you have such a vast knowledge that you are very relatable beyond the surface. And I think that you can adapt to anything. Use this to your advantage. You can adapt to any environment, anything. Literally like the snake. The snake can adapt to pretty much any single place except, as science says, Antarctica, Ireland, Iceland, New Zealand, and Greenland. Screw those places. They don't even need to be there anyway. But pretty much every other place they can fit into, and that's amazing. You don't want to just focus on the places that you can't fit into. You want to focus on the places that you can. So use that to your advantage. And I think that if the snake animal spirit comes to you again, be reminded of how amazing you are, because you are amazing, and it's a blessing that you can share your light with the rest of the world, because not everybody's light shines as bright as you, and yours is so, like the word that I've used, is so vast. It's so different. People can see it without even being spiritually in tune because of how bright it is. So let your light shine just like the snake does. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to get a more in-depth view insight on what the snake animal means, then go ahead and read this article, LenaMysticOracle.com. You can read it on there and go under blogs, because I didn't even get into everything in this video. You should definitely check it out. Also, check out my website for anything else. I have Among the Peculiar hats and stuff for us that are different. I also have a few other things that you can get on there, and soon I will have a few other things that will be released. And you can check me out on Lena Mystic Oracle at Lena Mystic Oracle for Instagram and Facebook. And I love you guys. Have an amazing day. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will see you later.